Good evening. My name is Yoni Klein, and I'm the president of the FDNY Ner Tamid Society, and I'd like to welcome you to our Centennial Gala. This video was filmed to capture the 100 years of contributions of the Ner Tamid members through the city, to the fire department, and to the Jewish community at large.
For 100 years, through smoke and sacrifice, through tragedy and triumph, Jewish firefighters have stood shoulder to shoulder among New York's bravest. From the crowded streets of the Lower East Side to the firehouses of Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island, generations answered a calling far greater than themselves, a calling rooted in courage, in service, in faith. The values of the FDNY and Jewish tradition have always shared common ground: to protect life at any cost, to stand for what is right when others can't, to leave the world better than when we found it. In Judaism, there's a principle known as Tikkun Olam, the obligation to help heal the world. For a century, the members of the Ner Tamid Society have lived that responsibility, not only in prayer or tradition, but in action. On fire escapes, in collapsing buildings, at kitchen tables comforting grieving families, and in the darkest moments the city has ever known. For 100 years, the members of the FDNY Ner Tamid Society have helped save countless worlds, and tonight we honor that legacy. 100 years strong, 100 years of family, 100 years of service, and the flame still burns.
The FDNY Ner Tamid Society has a rich history. Even though we were established in 1926, our timeline goes way before that. So back in 1919, the fire department had its first Jewish chaplain, Rabbi Edward Lissman. And he decided, with a couple of colleagues, that there needs to be a place for Jewish members within the department. So in 1926, they established the FDNY Ner Tamid Society, and it all started from there. Over the years, the Ner Tamid Society has a very rich history, to dances at the Waldorf Astoria, having battalion delegates. They even had their own newsletter, the Shofar, which is distributed job-wide. What I found really interesting in dealing with our more recent years is our true link to our Zionist history. In 1948, the Ner Tamid Society donated an engine and an ambulance to Israel, shortly after its creation. I found that to be incredibly impressive. What's very interesting between the fire department and Judaism is they have a lot of aligned values. A big one is Tikkun Olam, right, to heal the world. I find that the fire department really embodies that value, right? Life at any cost. Do what's right, even when no one's looking, because that's when it matters the most. And in Judaism, we share the same values. Some other examples I can give is in the Talmud, which is the most commonly used quote. It feels like at every graduation, right? He who saves one has saved the world. And I really believe that just like Judaism, the fire department embodies and encompasses that message in every time they go out the door. So although we're a small organization, we're mighty, much like the country we come from. And much like the country we come from as well, right? We're very unique people with different views, family-driven, strong values, and we all just want to do the right thing and go home at the end of the day. So for Jews all around the world, October 7th, 2023, really shook us to the core. Our members are very strong, very proud individuals, and we all felt compelled to do something. So we partnered together with an organization called EVP, the Emergency Volunteers Project, which brings volunteers, first responders, right, firefighters, paramedics, nurses, physicians, to Israel to help supplement their resource needs during times of crisis. And they said, if you have firefighters, you have paramedics, we'll get them to Israel and they can help. So at the time, Chief Hodges was the chief of department, and I very politely asked for a meeting with him, and he informed me that the State Department had restricted travel and did not recommend travel for U.S. citizens to go to Israel. I responded very politely, we're going to go, hopefully with authorization. If not, we might be AWOL, but we're going to go do what we do best. So the first wave, we sent 3 guys, and it changed everything. The Israelis were very warm, they were very happy that we were there, and they were very grateful. Since then, we've sent more than a dozen members, including one member more than 3 times, to operate either as firefighters or as healthcare professionals in that environment. I had the opportunity to go back in October of 2024, and it was the single most scariest but most rewarding life experience I think I have to date. They speak 3 languages in the firehouse, right? They speak Hebrew, they speak English, and they speak firefighter. They can break your shoes better than anybody I've ever met, but they also have the biggest hearts, much like we do here. We did more than just volunteer though. We helped source more than $1 million worth of medical equipment. We sent over 500 sets of structural bunker gear, meters, cameras, basically anything we could do to support that operation. And we continue to support them and foster that relationship with that organization today. When we started this project, we looked at all the historical documents over 100-year history, and I did not realize the profound contributions our members have made to the society. Whether it's designing the ROC, the current fire academy as we use it today, the development of Starfire, which was only recently discontinued, into our new FireCAD program, or even use of the inch 3/4 attack line. The members of this society carried our name forward in a very prideful manner.
Restate everything.
My name is Ted Goldfarb. I did 42 years in FDNY, firefighter 6 years, lieutenant 6 years, captain 6 years, battalion chief 9 years, and my final 15 years as a deputy chief. A lot of times you hear people talking that they went into first responder to want to help people and things. That wasn't my motive. My motive was I loved the excitement of the fire service, and it's something I always wanted to do. I just loved everything about it, the hours, the type of work, and things like that. So I decided to take the test, and I was appointed to the job August 12, 1963. I got assigned to ladder 169. Now again, I don't know if it was deliberate, non-deliberate, but there were quite a few Jewish firemen in 169 in those days, and the captain was also Jewish. Probably a dozen firefighters Jewish between the engine and the truck. I never ever had a problem getting neutrals. Obviously, I cooperated with people. As a matter of fact, at my retirement little dinner, I mentioned, I said, it was the first time in 42 years I'm off Christmas. What do people do on Christmas? I don't know what people do on Christmas. Obviously, it's not a Jewish holiday, but I worked every Christmas and every Easter that I could in those 42 years, and they obliged me. I always took off mainly Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. I never ever worked 42 years on those days. So I personally felt no anti-Semitism when I was working.
Lieutenant Glenn Harris, 42 years. They put me out, superannuated me 5 years ago. And I was the first class in 78. Cream of the crop, they called us. My grandfather was one of the founders of the Ner Tamid Society. It goes back to the gangs in New York, the first volunteer fire department. They were ethnic based. It's like human beings, like animals, have to like be in a pride or a tribe. They call, the Jewish people, what is it, diaspora? The tribe. And it's an important part to have a pride in your family. It's one of the things that's missing today, where merit matters, even though they try to deny it. The Ner Tamid Society, we were always one of the smallest in numbers, but I think we made the greatest impression on the job. It's just something to be proud of.
Okay. All right. My name is Paul Talbot. Did 40 years. I aged out, 65. The year before you turn 65, you get a great letter saying next year, on May 4th, you'll be officially retired. Very early in my career, I was a probie in Manhattan. And my father, who was also on the job, I'll get into that later. And as soon as he sees me, he says, how many runs you have today? And I said, I didn't have any runs. He said, well, how many fires do you have today? And I said, I didn't have any fires. He looked at me and he said, well, what fire department are you in? And he got up and walked into the house. You have to realize my father was a product of the Brooklyn Hebrew Orphanage. And when he got out, he was in the middle of the Depression. And he identified the fire department as almost his mother. He used to say the fire department was the greatest thing in his life. It gave him stability, it gave him a cause, it gave him a purpose. My father looks at me and he says, you're gonna get your sports jacket on, and the first Wednesday of next month, you're gonna go to the Ner Tamid Society. I had no idea what the Ner Tamid Society was. It was a fraternal organization of Jewish firefighters. I walked in the door. Ray Sims was the president at that time. And as soon as I walked in with the sports jacket on, he looked at me and says, well, where do you want to go? And wouldn't you know, a little while I got transferred up to 75 engine in the Bronx. At that time was the busiest engine in the city. Said it was the busiest engine in the world. And got promoted, went to East New York, finally got 2 1/4. Got promoted out of there, went over to 237, where my father was a fireman for 32 years. May 5th, 99, I got promoted chief, and I spent 20 years as the battalion commander of the 5 Battalion. When I got involved with the Ner Tamid, when I became the president of Ner Tamid, I labeled myself the king of the Jews. Let everybody know right from the get-go where I stood, who I am, and I found it a lot easier than something coming out later on. I used to wear a star, giant star on my neck on a choker chain, just waiting for someone to say something. Plus, I don't know if you saw the cover, I was on the cover of Hadassah magazine. I don't know if you ever saw that, it's almost like a GQ cover, I think, I have stacks of them if you want one, but I don't know, I just happen to carry a picture around, just in case for situations just like that, not that I knew that this was gonna occur, but like, hey, look at that. That's something, huh? It's just me. But we had lost we lost 343 firefighters, and 3 of them were Jewish. David Weiss, Stevie Bellison, and Al Feinberg.
That was another memorable day, obviously, and I'll never forget. I was off duty that day, and I was outside. And whenever you speak to anybody about 9/11, the first thing they'll mention is the beautiful weather that day. And I was outside, and my wife came running out. Teddy, they had an explosion at the World Trade Center. We had a little 7-inch television in the kitchen. I'm looking at it. And I don't know, that's looks like a flammable liquid fire to me. And next thing, the second plane hit. I said, whoops, I gave my wife a kiss, and I headed into the 8th Division office, which was about 2 miles away. And as I was walking into the firehouse, Rescue 5 was pulling out. They were assigned to the second tower, and I had a half a second to make a decision. Should I go with them? Let me see what's happening in the office. And I went upstairs, and all 11 guys that responded that morning with 9/11 were lost.
During 9/11, I had my Seder real early in the afternoon. I have 4 kids, me and my wife. My father had already passed. I'm the last of the Mohicans. We had our Seder really early so I could get to work, and I had to go down in a pile by 6 o'clock. Raining like crazy. Remember, there was 9 months, and this was and that time, Passover fell really early in April. And we're there, and we had found somebody. And for the guys that were there, we handled, it was almost a sacred duty, what you were doing. And we found the remains, and we were handling it with the utmost respect. And I get on the radio, Chief Tabo, you got a visitor, and we're going, it's pouring out rain. We're in the middle of the muck and mire. Who the hell is coming to visit me here? Who is it? It's Rabbi Potaznik. I don't know how that guy knew I was working. But he brought a slice of matzah because he thought I missed the Seder. Still affects me. I was like, wow, how the hell does the guy know I was down here? And plus, now he's there, Rabbi, put the matzah in your pocket, it's all wet already anyway. So he's got his Italian shoes on, his fancy suit. He sees that we had found something, and he wants to stay there to say a final prayer when we get it out. And I said, Rabbi, this is not a 1, 2, 3, a flash grab. We take a lot of time, go home. He was soaked to the bone already. But that really stood out in my mind. I said, wow, you know, this is the way Jews act. And that was a real defining moment for me.
As you can see, the Ner Tamid Society has a profoundly rich history. But I look at it this way, 100 years is a milestone, but the best is yet to come.
Be proud of the tradition of being Jewish in this job.
We make great firefighters.
We do. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do.